What is up and welcome back. If this is your first time watching, we are your Colorado real estate family. Now, about a year ago, Chelsea and I had laid out a video talking about the 5 cities that we personally would live in if we were first moving into Colorado.
But instead, we went right over Should I say this?
And that was great and all because honestly, you guys wanted our opinion on, okay, these are the cities that the Sweens would live in. Maybe we should check them out a little bit more. In today's video, what we're gonna be talking about is 10 cities that are rated the highest in livability according to areavibes.com. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I say this all the freaking time. I do not like only covering stuff that you guys could just go on the computer and Google and look at for yourself. You guys come to this channel because you want our personal opinion. So as I go over all of these 10 cities and or areas, I am also going to give you my personal take on my personal experience from each of these cities and areas. That way I could throw a little bit of a local's insight into each and every one of them, right? So I guess you could say this is going to be a hybrid of, the livability according to areavibes.com and my personal opinion. Here we go. Okay, when we are talking about this livability score on areavibes.com, here is all the topics that it takes into consideration when putting these scores in place. So we've got amenities, we've got commute, we've got cost of living, we've got crime, we've got employment. I don't have that many fingers on one hand. Employment, health, housing, and schools. So those are all the factors that areavibes.com takes into consideration when they are looking at these livability scores. And number 10 on our list is going to be Centennial Colorado, which comes in at an 80 out of 100. I can only imagine what does it take to get that 100 on livability scores. I don't know if it exists. I really haven't looked into it. 80 is pretty high though. And so when we talk about Centennial, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Centennial. I personally, when I was a punk, I was working for a dental supply company. Centennial was where our main office was at. So I constantly had to go down here, and the number one thing that I hated about Centennial was the traffic. It is just south of DTC right there. So that area, whether you got people come out from Castle Rock into DTC, or if you're coming from Denver down to Castle Rock or Colorado Springs, say you have to work in Denver, but you have to drive all the way back down, because that's ultimately why Castle Rock did grow, because everyone's like, I just live 30 minutes away from Denver, but work in Denver. What I'm trying to say is Centennial off of the highway right there is a high traffic area. Now, if you go further east in Centennial, past like South Parker Road, that's where you have a lot of the newer housing over there, and it's not as congested over there. But South Parker Road, since it does go all the way up to 225, you do still get some traffic on South Parker Road. That's my biggest thing. Centennial, ultimately though, it has a lot of newer areas, and the majority of your new areas are going to be on the east side of I-25. You get kind of your older Centennial on the west side of I-25. Centennial is a great spot though, and it's great to see that it's number 10 on our list on highest rated livability in the Denver metro area. Number 9 on our list, and this one is actually tied with Centennial Colorado. We're going to be talking about Louisville, Colorado. It comes in at an 80. Like I said, this is tied with Centennial. Louisville, Colorado, here's the best way to put it. It is pretty much your small town version of Boulder, Colorado. If you want the same type of people, if you want the same kind of environment that you do have up in Boulder, this is what Louisville, Colorado is going to bring you, and it is blowing up like crazy. If you see the downtown, the main street of Louisville, Colorado, you see a lot of new buildings going in there. You see a lot of the older structures that are kind of getting renovated. It's a cool little hot spot to kind of hang out, kind of like a little bougie spot. We personally like going to Melting Pot. I know that that's like a franchise, but that's the one that we go to, the location that we do go to, just so we can visit Louisville, Colorado. Now, the downtown area, I will say it is a little bit more of an affluent area. The prices are a little bit higher over there, but Louisville, it has great charm there. It is definitely one of those up and coming areas, and if that's something that might interest you, where you like the Boulder vibe but necessarily don't want to live in Boulder, Louisville might be a great city to check out. Number 8 on the list is going to be Thornton, Colorado. If you guys have watched our channel for a while, you will know that this is where Chelsea and I did purchase our house. Thornton, it's a different beast. Okay, so first let's talk about the livability score. The livability score on it is an 81. We purchased our first house in Thornton, Colorado, in southern Thornton, Colorado, which is like off of 104, so it's like on the south side of Thornton, where our new house is actually on the north side of Thornton, and this is where a lot of the development is. The thing about Thornton is they are great about getting the community together, And so they're always having these different events, whether it be the holidays, or whether Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July. They're always doing awesome stuff. They're always known for their awesome fireworks show on Independence Day. And they have 2 different rec centers. So they have one south and they have one north. And the northern side is just blowing up like crazy. Like I said, Thornton's got Topgolf. You got Costco on the north side. You got the outlet mall that's on the north side, the Denver Premium Outlets. So Thornton is really trying its best to become one of those newer cities where growing up, we were like, man, it's just that north city that we really don't want to go to since we initially lived in Arvada, Colorado. Number 7 on our list is actually an area of a city. It's going to be Colorado University area in Boulder, Colorado. And this one is going to come in tied with Thornton at an 81. So this is pretty much when we're talking about the area that's all surrounding the university in Boulder, Colorado. This isn't Boulder, the city as a whole. I mean, the biggest experience with this is just during school season. You know, you have a lot of college kids walking in and out of there. My biggest grievance with Boulder is that it does seem like there's a lot of traffic, whether you're on the east side, the west side. I feel like maybe the northern portion of Boulder is where you get away from a little bit of that traffic, but it just seems like it's super congested, super busy in there every single time we're going. We always drive through Boulder when we're going camping because our favorite camping spot is just right above Boulder right there. And it just, every time it just seems like there's just a ton of traffic. That's my biggest thing. And then also, we talked about this many times. We are not disgracing anyone by any means, but it is definitely a very progressive area. Take that as you will. If you don't want to live somewhere that's highly progressive, you might want to double check and see what you think about Boulder, Colorado. Number 6 on our list is going to be Parker, Colorado. Parker, Colorado is awesome. This is actually going to be south of Centennial, Colorado, and just pretty much like straight east of Castle Rock, Colorado. It's got like this little hub over there. Livability score comes in at an 83, and growing up in Colorado, Parker was always kind of like known as this like little quaint small town of an area where now all the outlying areas, you had a lot of these fields. It's got some foothills kind of on the south and west side of it. Those are all developing like crazy. You have a lot of these master plans that are going in surrounding Parker, Colorado. And so a lot of those newer developments are surrounding it. But if you want that quaint little small downtown, Parker, Colorado definitely does offer it up, where you got your boutiques, your little family mom and pop owned restaurants up in there. Parker is definitely awesome. It's also nice that the commute up into the Denver metro really isn't that far away. Parker, Colorado comes in number 6 on our list. All right, we are on to the number 5. The number 5 one is going to be, but before I get into the number 5, guys, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, we are your top relocation team, licensed realtors here. Make sure you give us a call or text at that phone number right below it there. We always answer, it doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, why don't you follow along, find out all the latest stuff that is coming into Colorado by hitting that subscribe button, giving us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we put out a new video. All right, here we go. Number 5 is going to be Cherry Creek, Colorado. Cherry Creek's livability score comes in at an 84, so just 1 point above Parker, Colorado. Cherry Creek, Colorado, growing up, has always been known for their sports. They have always been dominant in sports where they can compete, even with schools like Valor Christian, Mullen. They were always on top. If Chelsea was here right now, she'd always say that because she played volleyball in high school, when they played Cherry Creek, they're like, man, we just go in there, we're just like, feel like we're playing these super tall girls. They're amazing, and we're just like, holy crap, we gotta play Cherry Creek. When we are talking about athletics and sports and all your school systems, Cherry Creek is definitely one of those top spots. Also, their school system, the Cherry Creek School District, is consistently rated, I'd say, like in the top 3 when we are talking about all these different school districts in the Denver metro area. Number 4, this is not going to be a city, but it is actually going to be like a neighborhood of Parker, Colorado, and we are talking about Stonegate. This is like on the, I'd say like the northwest side of Parker, Colorado, and it is actually tied with Cherry Creek right at an 84. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't have much experience with Stonegate, so I can't tell you too much about it. We have known some people who have loved this area and constantly rave about it. Outside of that, I really don't know too much about it, guys. Number 3 is another city that we love in the Denver Metro North, and we are talking about Broomfield, Colorado, with a livability score of an 85. Broomfield's awesome. That's all I could say. Like, if we weren't living in Thornton because we prefer the Denver Metro North area, we would most likely live over in Broomfield. We love the anthem, the hardcore master plan that they do have over there. And we actually were kind of going back and forth between where we are in Thornton and over in Anthem. And Broomfield, Here's the thing about the Broomfield. They've done a great job about keeping old Broomfield together and then incorporating the new kind of on the outlying areas. Because if you have that older Broomfield area, let's just say like 120 is that main vein that goes right down the center of older Broomfield, it looks pretty much the same, except they are getting a new development there on like 20th and Main. They have this whole new plan drawn up to go in there. That'll probably be the most development that that portion of Broomfield has gotten in a long time. But if we're talking about like Arista, if you go straight out on the west side of Broomfield, you have the kind of like urban, like downtown vibe. We talked about Anthem, which is that hardcore master plan on the northern side of Broomfield. You got Baseline, which is the new urban style kind of living development that is happening the northernmost part of Broomfield. You got all those hospital systems that are going in right around there. So Broomfield is doing great about growing, but at the same time, still keeping that quaintness of that older portion of Broomfield, Colorado. Number 2 on the list, and this one comes in tied with Broomfield. We are talking about Arvada, Colorado at an 85. If you guys have been watching us, you know that Arvada, Colorado is where Chelsea and I personally grew up. It is much different than what it was when we were growing up there. That little downtown was a lot more quaint. It was a lot smaller, where now it has become a central hub for so many people to go and do their brewery hopping. They got some great restaurants up in there. They actually closed down that main street, so it's all just walkability now that you don't have to worry about the cars going in and out of there. Then you've got the commuter rail stations going through there as well too, where if you go further out west, you got like the Arvada Ridge station over there, and they're building a lot of great like row home, like kind of rooftop style housing plans over there. Or if you want your ultimate suburb, you could go straight out west on the westernmost portion, like in the foothills. You got the Layden Rock, you got the Candelas over there, you got all these different developments that are over there. So Arvada also kind of like Broomfield, has a great little mix. The only thing that I will say about Arvada, and I've said so many times, is it does seem like that they did not plan for the growth that they're experiencing, because when you are going down those main roads, like, you know, Ralston Road or up Wadsworth, it just seems like it's always so congested. And yes, they were doing a lot of road construction on Ralston Road right there. I know they are trying to fix it, but it seems like they're trying to play catch up a little bit when we are talking about dealing with the amount of people who did move into Arvada, Colorado. All right, we have made it. We are on our number 1 on the list according to areavibes.com. Number 1 on the list is going to be Lafayette, Colorado at a 90 livability score. Lafayette, I actually lived here for a brief moment in life. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, right around there. Lafayette's great, guys, and like right when I was living there, they were just building that rec center that they have on the northern portion of the old town portion of Lafayette. Our church is in Lafayette, Colorado. They have done a great job. Lafayette and Louisville always kind of remind me of each other. Where Louisville's blowing up a little bit more than Lafayette, but I feel like it is coming to Lafayette right now, where they have that really quaint downtown right now. But I have a feeling it's going to be moving out a little bit more, especially with Baseline getting built east of there. I can see this downtown kind of becoming more of a hub for a lot of your night activities or just activities in general. Lafayette is still kind of one of those small town feels, but still has some great hopping stuff there. We love going to Stem Cidery. Stem Cidery is amazing. It's on top of the hill in this like industrial park above Lafayette. You go up there. If you like ciders, I highly recommend checking it out when you are visiting or when you do move into Colorado. And then just going up there and getting exposed to the views. They have a great park where the kids can go play while, you know, you have a few adult beverages and feast on a few hors d'oeuvres. I can easily see why Lafayette, Colorado did take the number 1 position when we are talking about livability in the Denver metro area. All right, thank you so much, guys. I greatly appreciate you watching. If you are looking at purchasing real estate, looking for those top-notch licensed realtors in the state of Colorado, give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below it there, we always answer. It doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along and inform yourself of the latest stuff coming into the Denver metro up to Fort Collins by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, give us a thumbs up. That way you're notified every single time that we put out a new video. Till next time, we love you. Bye.